I'm Nika Lugardo, Massachusetts State Representative, and this is our video on being an advocate for legislation at the legislature. How do you get a bill passed as an everyday person, an everyday resident? Anyone can be an advocate, but what's most important about being an advocate is knowing how to apply your strategy across the stages of the bill. Now, when a bill comes to the House, a lot of people think that's when the bill was born. No, it's born in your mind and in your heart, not just in the legislators. You can participate in the very first stage, which is drafting a bill. Advocates can also participate in every subsequent stage of the bill. We'll be breaking this down over a series of videos. So from drafting, we of course go to filing. And when you file that bill, there's a whole set of things you can do to build support for the bill in the legislature. Once the bill is filed, it goes to a hearing with a committee, and sometimes several committees. It could be housing, it could be education, it could be both, it could be more. That's your opportunity to mobilize your friends and family to come on out and talk to the legislature about why this bill is important to them. Then the bill goes often to the Ways and Means Committee. That's scary to most people because it has to do with money. However, once you get inside there, you realize it's a lot of fun to work with Chair Michaelwitz and the Ways and Means Committee to show that your bill and your idea can be funded. And once we know it can be funded, we have that final stage in the House of Representatives, and that's bringing the bill to the floor of the House for a vote. There's so many different strategies to getting that done, and advocates can help with that no matter how old you are or how young. One great example of that is the Student Opportunity Act. You might know about that bill. It's an education funding bill that we got passed last session unanimously with help from folks like you. Advocates help legislators organize and discover which legislators in the 160 representatives had not yet pledged support for the bill and why. I was tasked with many others with talking to the legislators that had serious concerns about the fairness of fully funding low-income education and fully funding English language learning. Not because they didn't want it to be fully funded, but they thought, you're saying fully funding is double funding? Why do you need double funding for poor districts? That's not fair. We talked about poverty. We talked about what poverty looks like in schools. And there was a lot of compassion on the part of my conservative colleagues. That's because of the data you armed me with as advocates and everyday families, everyday students, and everyday people who care about the education equity of Massachusetts. We passed that bill, as I said, unanimously because people understood how to use the stages of the bill strategically and to engage everyone in democracy. That's why it's so important to learn how to be a great advocate, not just so that you can put something on your resume or on your Twitter feed, but it actually helps us create justice for all, only when you are part of everyday democracy.